Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS World news stream, or is it DCS news stream? That's it, for the 8th of April 2023. I hope you all enjoyed that, the most recent tutorial video in the F-14 series, all about the automatic carrier landing system. Pretty good if, like me, you're not that good at landing the aircraft on the carrier. I'm very good at landing it on a runway, I have to say. I've got that nailed, but landing on a carrier, I can do it, but it takes a bit of sweat and tears, so it's quite nice to have the automatic system to help. Welcome to the stream, Paul Dillon, Charts, Eagle Wings, Tech Gaming 45, Tog, yes, 2-wire, Storm Kimbari, Griff Nizzle, James Fenton, and Nico. Welcome from Finland. Yes, so very good to have you all aboard. Welcome to the stream, everyone. And as always, let's bring on board the one and only dotChuckles. Hello there, dotChuckles.
We can start now.
Yay.
The important person is here.
Yes, indeed. The gang is all here. The party can begin. Much like, I've forgotten her name now. The party doesn't start till I walk in. Who's that again?
No idea. I don't know. You have strange taste in music.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
Much like Kesha, the party doesn't start until dotChuckles walks in.
Yeah.
Welcome, Griff Nizzle. Am I the only one that had a bit of anxiety with the ACL? I think in the real world there would be serious amounts of hoverhand going on. I think even Ward Carroll did a video about the ACL in the F-14 one time, where he basically said that. He said they didn't use it that often, and he said whenever they did, they were ready to disengage, just in case. But my understanding is that it was actually a reliable system and did work well. It's just, of course, as always, you're going to be, when you're trusting your life to a piece of tech, you're going to be very, very careful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a system I've used, actually. It's not a system I've used because I didn't, I probably didn't spend as much time as I should have with the F-14.
The F-14 is
model.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
Like, actually, I haven't flown it that much recently either, and in fact, previous to this, I'd mostly flown in the back seat, because I actually find the back seat in the F-14 to be very enjoyable.
Same, actually. Like, I think I got more out of the back seat of the F-14 than sitting in the front. So I think that's probably why it's not a system that I've really used. But I don't know what something about you sort of saying about hover hands over controls that sort of reminded me. I just today, if people are not a subscriber, go check out Mentor Pilot, Mentour.
He's very
Pilot.
good.
He's very, very good. But today he just put his video out about the RAF Voyager that went into a nosedive over the Black Sea. And everybody went into weightlessness for about 30 seconds. And it was all quite a big incident. And ultimately the automatics in the aircraft sorted it out because it went, nope, you're going too fast and you're descending too much. I am now going to take over and stop this from going into the ocean. But it turned out, and I don't know why what your comment reminded me, it turned out that the reason is that the captain, a flight lieutenant, I forget his name, but he'd been taking photographs on the flight deck, and he'd put his camera down when the purser came in to chat to him. So he put his camera down just behind the side stick.
Oops.
And he'd pushed his seat back to speak to the purser. And then when the purser came in, he pushed his seat forward, jammed the camera into the control stick, and put the aircraft into a nosedive.
Oh no! Oh, that is so bad.
Yeah. And the first officer climbed into the cockpit on the roof, like literally crawled along the roof, and was reaching down from the roof to grab the other side stick. And of course, when you pull the side sticks in different amount in Airbus, it averages out the controls. So it started to come up, but then at that point the automatics went, no, this is stupid, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And they got it level. And
thank you, St. Airbus.
yeah, pretty much. And sort of, I don't know, like the guy, I think, like he didn't get charged with it, but the indication is that he realized what had happened and he'd pulled the camera out and chucked it to the back of the cockpit.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah, talk about hover hands. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why that made me think of it, but there we go. There's a little bit of interesting story. But yes, if you're not a subscriber of Mentor Pilot, go and see him.
Yes, very much so. And yeah, this reminds me of the Phoenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which does simulate pretty much all of this stuff. Like the Airbuses have a lot of really good protections. There's so much that you cannot do with them.
As long as you're in normal law, it's supposed to be carefree handling. You can basically just yank the stick in any direction you want, and it'll do it up to the point where you would break the aircraft or where you would fly it into the ground or something like that, and then or overspeed it, and then it will take over and go, no, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Behave yourself.
If you step outside of normal law, then the aircraft just goes, your show, carry on.
Yeah. But there's no way to disable normal law without turning off systems. Like it's a failure state.
I think you can pull breakers that enable it, that cause it to happen. I think there is a way to cut it out and basically go into alternate law, and which is basically effectively a direct control kind of no safeties, nothing. It's like, yeah, you're running the show.
Yeah.
But it's not a normal. It's like not something you would. It's like disabling the computers in the Black Shark. You would never do it.
Yes, it's not a good plan.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, Pink Floyd, Tier 0, Dave Flute. People are shouting out to you, dotChuck.
I know. Thank you very much, everybody.
Welcome, Gary. Stormkin Barry. Oh, we already said hello to you. Yeah, Kesha. Most important news to mention, says Tog, Gunner Heat PC added a BMP2. That actually is rather cool. I'll need to go look at that. That is
cool. Yeah. The BMP2, that's the one with the auto cannon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually the same cannon that you have in the K-50, just to swing right back to the Black Shark.
Oh, well,
it's the same gun.
Okay.
Yeah. They when they were designing the Black Shark, they had a requirement that it be able to switch feed and have AP and HE. And they're like, where do we have a gun like that already?
What does that?
Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, the BMP2 already does that. We'll just take that gun. So very clever. Nico, welcome. Yeah, I prefer to be the VP and not the chauffeur. Brown trouser moment, oof. Marco, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy the Harrier tutorials. Channel right, I see Current Hill has now introduced the Russian 9K720 Iskander mod, long-range system, rocket and cruise missile variants. I wonder why that's interesting to people these days.
Strange, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
They're not running out of them, though. I heard they were sort of getting a bit low on the old supply of the Iskanders, which was why they were modifying S300s to do the same thing.
Yes, indeed. S300s. Anyway, we're not your up-to-date source for Ukraine news. Check out your preferred news source. But yes, I do understand the Iskanders are very, very sparse at this point.
At the moment, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, moving on. The reason why we're here, dotChuckles, is that we normally read out the Eagle Dynamics newsletter. It's a rather, speaking of sparse, it's a rather sparse one this week. There's not that much going on, but still cool stuff. So it's still worth a look. Dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, the Mosquito, as I like to call it, FB6 livery competition has ended, and the winners have been selected. Please join us in congratulating them on their hard work. All 10 winners will receive a free Eagle Dynamics module, and their usernames will be added to the credits.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, that is rather nice. DCS UH-1H is undergoing an engine model update, as we are thrilled to share our progress. We are working on a more realistic simulation of the helicopter's engine that provides more precise control over the engine's characteristics. Check the details below. The launch of the new Normandy map is approaching. If you are a campaign creator, please consider updating your missions to take advantage of the new capabilities that this incredible map offers. The larger and more detailed battlefield will enable you to push your mission-making skills to the next level. Stay tuned for this exciting update that is coming soon.
So Normandy map, that's the one that kind of confuses me a bit because it's covering the territory of 2 maps already.
Yes.
But it's kind of combined it, and you get a discount if you own one of the 2 maps. Have I got that right?
That's right. And actually, I don't know if this is still the case, but my original understanding was that if you had either the Channel map or the original Normandy map, you got a certain discount.
And if you had both,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
then you got a further discount. But we've not seen exactly how this is going to work until they actually release it.
It's a
good idea.
It's a good idea. In the interest of fairness, it is a good idea. So you're basically effectively paying for the upgrades and any extra map that you might get or not get.
Yeah.
But it makes it a hell of a complicated. Okay. But yeah, there we go. Interest of fairness, it's a good shout.
Yeah. Welcome to the stream, Shandor Hedgefeld. Griffin Isle, you get an even deeper discount if you have both. Okay, so yeah, in that case, only 10. Actually, I think it's technically $9.99, which is 10. Yes, indeed. But anyway, yeah, the Mosquito contest. The winners of the DCS Mosquito livery competition will receive an Eagle Dynamics. Yeah, this is what they already said. Why are they repeating themselves? So the winners of the Mozzie livery competition are, and I'm not going to read them out.
Oh, look who won.
Zed Tank. What?
Yeah, well done.
He's one of our livery guys. Well, one of our livery guys. We've commissioned him to make liveries for the VAF. Okay.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Imagine seeing his name there. We have to click the link. We now need to see what his one looked like.
That's very cool.
Oh, he did an Israeli one. Oh, that's really cool. Complete with Hebrew numbering.
Yeah. And I like the fact that, he's got the sort of matte texture on it, because like the Mosquito, being mostly made of plywood, was quite when I saw one in the Imperial War Museum, and I was quite surprised at how matte it was rather than sort of shiny.
Yeah. This is very nice. Excellent. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I totally did not notice that until I saw it. But yeah, well done, Zed is top of the list there.
I'm now looking to see if I recognise any of these others, but I don't, in fact.
Yeah. He's Home Fries I recognise from other things. But yeah, no, Zed, he's done a lot of our liveries for us. That's excellent.
Fantastic. Well done there. As they say here in the newsletter, thank you to all that participated in this livery competition. We're incredibly grateful, impressed with all your submissions. Stay tuned for the next one. Fantastic. So yeah, actually, I guess to give a little detail there, Zed most recently made the livery for our T-45 training squadron, which is called 4 Squadron Virtual Air Force. But we can tell you more about that later when we pimp the VAF. But he made a really nice black kind of RAF training skin, which is kind of nice.
We should shout out. We should shout out in our Discord. For
yes,
Zed,
we should,
and congratulate him on that.
Absolutely, nice. That's very exciting. Tier 0. Every time we get into World War II news, I always have a little laugh remembering Deepak's endorsement of the older aircraft. I'm not against them existing. Is that what I said? I think that is what I said.
I'm not against them existing. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, they're very pretty and historical, and they sound nice, but it's just not what I'm interested in. But there are people who will lap that stuff up like a kitten lapping milk.
Yes, indeed. And the thing is, the modelling and the simulation
there.
the modelling and the simulation involved in these modules is brilliant. Like from a technical standpoint, there is no faulting them. I'm just not that excited about them. That's all. I'm sorry.
Somebody else is a fellow LTT viewer.
Yes.
Griffin Isle, Mystery Yeti saying they'll add much more post-launch. It'll have 69 at launch. Nice.
Oh dear. Continuing, a UH-1H development report. New engine modelling methods have been in progress during development of the Mi-24P and H-64D modules. The new UH-1H engine model was in many ways a testbed for the methods. Why does it say the new? Oh, okay, so they've been working on this during the development of the Apache. Okay, I didn't realize that. So anyway, let me repeat. The new UH-1H model was in many ways a testbed for the methods we then used on the H-64D engine module. We've been gathering feedback about the DCS UH-1H over the years, and thanks to our forum users Piston85, Ramsey, and others, we've pinpointed changes to make for the new engine model development. We're now finishing the development of the new engine model for the UH-1H and are eager to let you try it. If this is the newer new engine model, then it should be the newer engine model. But anyway, please make sure to give us your feedback. The new model represents fine-tuning to address the following. Some of the old engine model parameters did not match with their real counterpart, especially in transient regimes. We wanted to improve temperature regime compliance to match the real-world counterpart. This includes EGT, other engine parameters based on altitude and outside temperature changes. We wanted to improve the modelling of the mechanics to include a new model that accounts for the connection of the free turbine and main rotor. I thought that technically they're not connected, but anyway. I guess they mean the kind of fluid way in which they're connected.
Yeah.
The new model has allowed us to improve details of the startup and shutdown procedures that leverage the expanding modelling of compressors and free turbine. And then they give us a little screenshot here showing, I guess this is during part of the startup, how accurate the needle positions are now with the real one on the left and the simulated one on the right. This image shows that we're now accurately modelling... Oh, this is actually auto-rotation, in fact. We're now accurately modelling auto-rotation simulation situation readings on the tachometer. The real aircraft dial's on the left, and the DCS UH-1H Huey dial is on the right. I have a very, very old now video all about auto-rotating in the Huey. So check that out if you want to see a vague representation of the real-life procedure used. I got it down in one piece, so I guess I did good enough. Mole, the UH-1H, Mi-8 and F5 are all getting some attention this year. This is something I wanted to talk about a little bit later. I'm very excited about the F5 getting some attention, because I think the F5 is actually a brilliant module, just slightly disappointed that it still has some bugs that they've never fixed. But maybe it'll now get some attention. That'd be kind of nice.
We were talking about this just before we started, and it's quite an interesting feedback loop that's happened here. That obviously the UH-1 was the test bed for future engine models on in DCS, but now the developments that have happened in DCS with other engine models is feeding back into the UH-1, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about this because I've always enjoyed flying the Huey. I haven't flown it recently, but of course, if they update it, then I'll take it up for a test drive and see what it's like. At A. Ramon Noodle, the UH-1 needs a facelift on graphics. It looks like it's from the late 90s sim. Is it that?
It does look a bit bad. Like, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. Oh well, I never realised, but yeah, it's one of the older helicopters. Actually, is it the first helicopter? No, it's not the first, because of course we had the Black Shark. What am I talking about? It's the second helicopter we had.
That's right,
yeah. Yeah, Charts is agreeing with me. We'd love to see an F5 upgrade. So much fun. Yeah, a great aircraft.
It was the third module, wasn't it?
The F5. No. Oh, now you're asking. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. I'm talking nonsense. I thought the Huey was the third module. It wasn't.
Well, we had Black Shark, then A10.
Yeah. What was the third one?
I don't know
what was after the A10. It was a long time ago. So.
Probably some World War II stuff came out at some point. Yeah, I really don't remember. It'd be cool to see a timeline, actually, and see what modules came out when.
I'm Googling.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I'm Googling. Because I have forgotten, because it's been a long ass time. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at Griff Nizzle's comment there. Am I an idiot? They're comparing the IRL gauge to an in-game gauge. boasting how it matches, yet the scales are different. That's true. The version the version that's in game is not representing percentages; it's representing actual thousands of RPMs. So the thing is, yes, the scales are actually different, but as I understand it, they map the same. So I don't think it matters. I think the needles should be in the same position no matter what the scale. But I get your point. It does look a bit funny. So look how accurate this is, and then they're showing completely different readings.
So from 2010, which was the A10C Warthog. My God, that was some time ago.
I remember
releases have been in order. Obviously, A10C Warthog first, then Flaming Cliffs 3, then the Mustang, then the Su-25 as a standalone, the A10A as a standalone. Obviously, these are FC3 level aircraft. Yep. Then the MiG-21, I would argue, was like, I mean, okay, yeah, the Mustang, but the MiG-21 was our next module, really, sort of modern module. Then it was the Focke-Wulf 190. Then it was the C-101. Then it was the F-86. Then it was the MiG-15. Then it was the F-5. Then it was the L-39. Then it was the BF-109. Then it was the Viggen. Then it was the Mirage. Then it was the Su-33 as a standalone. Then it was the Harrier. Then it was the Su-27 as a standalone. The F-15C as a standalone. Then it was the Hornet. MiG-29 as a standalone, obviously again FC3. Then it was the Yak-52, then it was the Spitfire, then it was the MiG-19, then it was the F-16, then it was the JF-17, then it was the Christian Eagle 2, then it was the Tomcat, then it was the I-16, then it was the FW-190A8, then it was A10C2 Tank Killer, and then it was the Mosquito. So that is the order of release.
It's been quite a ride, and I remember very, very favourably many of these releases. The F5, like the F5 was a very early aircraft that we flew in the VAF. The VAF kind of started off flying the A10, as I recall, and then we added the F5 to our ranks. Sadly, we don't fly it anymore. It's been superseded by so many other great aircraft.
Yeah. And some people are pointing out in chat about, check out the rate stuff was being released from 2016. If you go back to 2016, it was like 4 a year at least. I mean, in 2017, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 releases. In 2016, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 releases. In 18, 1, 2, 3, 4 releases. In 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 releases, and then it kind of falls off a cliff. But global pandemic happened, so
yeah, that's true.
But I mean, that's a ton of stuff happening. Like after 2016, it's impressive. It's
pretty damn good. We have a lot of nice aircraft to fly, and more coming.
Yeah, God. I mean, the Tonka, Typhoon. Jeez.
What's your number one, dotChuckles? Let's get right into it. What's the one? Like, if you could only choose one aircraft that's coming out in, say, the next 4 years, which is the one? If you can only buy one that you would buy?
Easy Tornado, easy.
I knew you were going to say that. Tornado. I don't know why I even bothered. I knew you were going to say that. And
contest.
I'm so with you there, actually. Yeah. Although, like, so close is the Typhoon. Like, I desperately want the Typhoon as well, but the Tonka is kind of wonderful.
The Typhoon is lovely. The Typhoon is a sexy aircraft. It's good looking. I don't have much interest in flying it. Because
too advanced, too modern.
Yeah.
It's just not a challenge.
Point and click cockpit. Like, for me, 70s and 80s into the early 90s is where it's at, where, it's about operating the systems and all that kind of stuff. I'm more about the systems and the technique than the let's get up in the air and shoot something, Yeah. And so it'll be the tornado. I will admittedly, like, I'll have the tornado, but I'll be thinking about the Phantom.
Phantom's nice. Phantom's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Happy Meal.
I was thinking of you, honey.
Happy Meal making a good point here. It's good that they're still supporting stuff as well. F5 and Viggen still getting some love. We've seen on 2 occasions now the Viggen has had quite fundamental rewrites. Actually, the Viggen has been brought right up to date twice now. Same can be said for the MiG-21. In fact, the MiG-21 has had sizable reworks.
Well, isn't the Viggen sort of Heatblur's test bed? Like
to a degree, yeah.
Yeah, don't they use it to sort of fiddle around with stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Now, F5, sadly, not so much. F5 has barely been touched since release, and is, in my opinion, in some desperate need of... It's not that it's bad. There's nothing like totally broken apart from the RWR, which is pretty broken. But mostly the aircraft just works, and it's great, but it would be nice to see it get some love.
I'm just going to say to Happy Meal, no, it's not a rumour. This is coming. Don't know when, but it is coming.
Yes, Razbam have already modelled it. I don't believe they've started on actually coding it, but they have a model. Oh, and Griff Nizzle saying there's another 21 update coming soon. That's nice to hear. Chandro Hedgevald is excited for the MiG-23. Actually, yes. Yes, MiG-23, pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool.
Comically bad aircraft.
Yes. Oh, a Happy Meal. A Sea Harrier, or is that just a rumour as well? Well... Razbam have stated on multiple occasions that they want to bring other variants of the Harrier out, and definitely one that has a radar. So that could mean a 2+, or it could mean a Sea Harrier.
Well, I thought the rumour was FRS too.
Yeah, well, it's actually both. They intend to create both. I don't know in what order, and I don't know when.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be very, very cool. Sea Harrier, of course, being a very different beast because it's a Harrier 1 airframe. So very, very different aircraft.
But has fairly capable radar in it.
Oh, very capable radar.
Yeah.
If Command Modern Operations is to be believed, and I think their stats are normally good.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming soon. Happy Meal, Harrier or Lightning? Well, we already have the Harrier. So, yeah. Mr. Yeti, anyone remember the outline that Deepak thought was a Jag? Did we find it was? Yes, that was confirmed to be a Jaguar. However, we've never heard a single peep out of them since. So, and nobody is sure whether or not they were like a proper third-party commercial developer or whether it was going to be a community mod. So, there's been complete radio silence since that, but it was definitely a Jaguar.
Yeah. I think it's a community mod. I don't think it's a... I don't think it's an official thing.
You would expect that we would have heard something by now if it was an official one.
It's not just that. I think there's licensing issues with the Jaguar, which is why it's been a tricky... But I mean, the problem is I don't think the maps are big enough for the Jaguar.
Oh, even the South Atlantic.
Yeah, I think it's too small. Like the maps are too small to really use the Jaguar because by the time you actually get the Jaguar off the runway, you'll have travelled the entire length of the map.
I like the Jaguar. The Jaguar is nice.
I know, but it was powered by 2 hair dryers.
yeah, it was comically underpowered. Well, I think am I right in thinking the French ones stuck with the original engine, but the RAF ones did get upgraded engines in later variants?
Don't know. I didn't know if they upgraded the engines. I just know that as the Jaguar got older, and part of the reason why it got retired was that to make it capable in the modern world, they had to keep adding stuff in.
Yeah.
And adding more kits and adding bits and pieces, and it just got heavier and heavier and heavier. And the poor little asthmatic engines that were designed to be for a training aircraft, just couldn't cope. I mean, there's one comment about that Jaguar pilots definitely believe that the world is round because they have to use the curvature of the Earth to get off the ground because it just falls away underneath.
Somebody should fact check me, but I am.
Tech gaming point. I just said the curvature of the Earth isn't modelled.
Easy, yeah. Sadly, someone should fact check me, but I am certain that the RAF ones in later versions had more powerful engines. Not by much, but they were upgraded.
Somebody is saying, Happy Mill is saying, Jag GR3 had an engine upgrade, still underpowered though.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, because it had a skinny little fuselage, so there was only so much you could, there was only so much bypass you could get into that engine space. It was a very sexy aircraft, and let's not belittle its performance and what it did in the Gulf War and all that kind of stuff. It was a critically important aircraft. So I don't want to belittle it from that point of view, but it was a bit crap.
Tier 0, damn it, I've been slacking on learning command modern operations and now I feel bad. I have been fiddling with the idea of doing some tutorial videos for CMO. So stay tuned.
It's a fearsome bit of software, but it's incredible. I mean, it's what the military used to model things, so we've just got a slightly redacted version of it,
although they're adding to it all the time. We're getting more and more cool stuff. Oh, Carp Comet.
Where is it? Carp Comet. Real Dark Horse DCS module dream is an Avro Arrow. Oh, paper airplane though. I
actually don't know what that is.
But yeah, so the Arrow was, if I'm thinking of the right aircraft, it suffered the same fate as the TSR-2. It was killed by government, basically. And it was fantastically ahead of its time. I think the only thing that remains from it is one wing assembly. And everything else got cut up and destroyed. And all the documents were gone and trashed. But it was by all accounts, like the TSR-2 was, it was a fantastically advanced aircraft for its time that was ultimately offered up on the as a sacrifice on the altar of budget. But yeah,
that's the thing. Aircraft that are cancelled early in their development always look like they're going to be really good, though, as well, because, of course, at early phases of development, they haven't integrated the, what would you call it exactly? The mission equipment. So they're usually much, much lighter and more powerful and more maneuverable. So they always look better before they've been laden.
Well, I mean, I think in the case of the TSR-2, it wasn't just, I mean, it was the first, I believe, the first aircraft to have ground following radar with total hands-off operation, like beating out the Tornado and the F-111. In fact, elements of the TSR-2 ended up in the Tornado, so it had it had all these systems and navigation systems that were like science fiction for its time, but are now probably within the last 10, 20 years only becoming normal. But the TSR-2 had it already built in. It had issues with its landing gear, I believe, but that was going to get worked on. But yeah, obviously it was killed by the government, and it was the same with the Arrow. The Arrow was built in Canada and was quite spectacular, but yeah, it got killed.
Yeah. I feel dotChuckles like Thelma is calling you out.
What's that?
Check out chat.
Please wax lyrical about Tornado coming to DCS in the mission planner and the 1993's DI Tornado. What, you mean that 1993 DI Tornado that's sitting over my shoulder? Well, no, that would make for a very boring news stream. But interestingly, that mission planner was based pretty closely on the real mission planner, and had some quite advanced features that even the mission planner didn't have. So So it was pretty good. I mean, it's probably still one of the best mission planners ever. Like even far better than, to be able to see, your curvature and paths and all, the way the aircraft sort of, plan your turns and all that kind of stuff. It was spot on, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Tier Zero. I'm familiar with P. Gatacom's channel, and he's basically the definitive CMO tutorial channel. I don't think I'm ever going to be challenging him, but I might put up some content here and there because it is a very cool game. Nice. Anyway, let's get the newsletter out of the way. Last section we have here: Normandy Campaigns. Exciting news from the sky. We highly encourage all campaign creators to gear up and prepare your missions in anticipation of the new Normandy Reflected Simulation. Oh wait, that's a new sentence. The new Normandy Reflected Simulations has been pouring passion into updating their Normandy campaigns. DCS P-51D, the blue-nosed bastards of Bodney. What the hell? DCS Spitfire 9, the Big Show, and DCS BF-109 K4 Jagdflieger. My German is amazing. Brace yourselves for visually Thank you. Brace yourselves for visually stunning and exhilarating missions that exploit the full potential of the new DCS Normandy theatre. Please read the Normandy 2 FAQ to get all the insider information. Thank you again for your passion and support.
There you go. Oh.
Excellent.
Yeah, moving on.
Yes.
Just happy meal saying it was a monster sim for its day regarding Tornado. My interesting fact that I've probably already said on the DCS news is that DI's Digital Integrations Tornado was actually a reskinning of the Jaguar desktop trainer for the Royal Air Force, because they were the first Digital Integration were the first company first commercial computer game company to produce software for the military as training. And they made a desktop trainer of the Jaguar new laser guided bombing system that was going to be deployed to the Jaguar. They developed desktop trainer and they asked, could they turn this into a commercial product? And the RAF kind of said, sort of. So it ultimately became Tornado. So that's its heritage, which is pretty interesting.
And was that tiled that the Jaguar fielded? I'm not sure.
Yes, I think so. Yes, it would be tiled. And my old squadron adjutant was one of the design leads on tiled, and Durka actually.
I'm very quickly checking. First operational use was by the Harrier in the Falklands War. They had it on the Harrier, and then it was put on Tornado.
So what was the kit that was going on to Jaguar then? Because it was definitely for Jaguar that they did it.
Yeah, it must have been something else.
Must have been something else.
Because the Jaguar wasn't carrying it until 1995, so that's quite late.
Yeah.
Anyway, very cool. Yes, so moving on, we have the...
Might have been the new Navwaz kit that they developed desktop trainer for, actually.
We have the latest video from Baltic Dragon showing off the F15E Strike Eagle training videos, or training missions, I guess, actually, in-game. And this one is teaching you how to use the radio. So nothing amazingly exciting, but still pretty cool to see this. And more detail on how the UFC and the F-15 works. And it's the F-15's UFC is very advanced and has a lot of functionality. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We've got to be close now, eh?
I would hope so. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
Soon, TM.
It's something I'm very excited about. I'll definitely be posting content about it on release. It looks really nicely modelled, and it reminds me so much of Jane's F15E Strike Eagle. They actually, I think Jane's got a lot right. Like a lot of the modelling of the avionics and so on was pretty spot on, I think.
Yeah, I was recently sorting through a whole bunch of boxes and trying to clear my attic, and I hit the Amiga strata of my boxes and found my copy of Strike Eagle 2.
Am I?
And Chuck Yeager's Advanced Trainer. And Combat Air Patrol.
Oh my.
And Birds of Prey.
All the good stuff.
Oh yeah. All with their manuals still in the boxes.
Mm.
And in some cases the receipts.
Wow.
I know, right? Because that was the kind of time, I mean, that was buying computer games back then. It was the kind of time when you might legitimately have to take it back because magnetic medium, you know?
yeah. Could actually be trashed.
You stuck the receipt in the box, so there we go.
Mr. Yeti has a prediction for us. 2 weeks and Open Beta, Sinai, Normandy 2, F-15 and Phantom all in one go. Now, wouldn't that be a cause for celebration?
Phantom. We talked about Phantom just last week, didn't we? What was their saying on Phantom? Because I'm sure they mentioned it was like, oh, it's blah 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 imminent, or was that the F-15?
No, that was the Phantom. So with the Phantom, they just said that it's nearing completion. Like it's coming out any time now, basically. So
we've seen so little of it though.
But that's the Heat Blur way. Like 2 weeks before it comes out, they're going to do a big stream and they'll show everything off, and then it'll all go wild. They don't
though. Like the F-14 was like, you know, we were seeing pictures of the cockpit, we were seeing new model updates, we were seeing all that kind of stuff. We've not seen anything. Like I've seen virtually nothing of the cockpit in the F-4. Like,
true. Yeah, it's almost all been external shots. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. I mean, like. Yeah, like we've decided that I'm only allowed to buy one anyway, and that's going to be the Tornado. But yeah, I will be definitely creeping the F4's Instagram. So
yeah, I'm very excited for the F-15. You know, I might not grab the F4 straight away. I might spend my time in the F-15 instead. But yeah, also Sinai map. Yes, you know, supposedly Sinai map could be any time now. And, you know, now ED signaling that Normandy 2 could be any time now. So, yeah, I feel like all of these are actually, probably due to drop any time now. So, could be any time. We'll see. And the open beta updates, they normally happen in the middle of the month. So, yeah, we could be getting something in a week or two, maybe. Who knows? I think Sinai probably being the one that's most close to completion. Like, I feel fairly confident that we get Sinai, like, imminently. The others, who knows?
Yeah. There could be a lot of stuff coming out. Like, I'm quite excited for a lot of stuff with DCS and outside of DCS. Like, probably if anybody gives a shit, Space Engineers, the next the Automatons update should be out in like a week, maybe a week, 2 weeks. Don't know. Yeah. But soon, they've said April, so you know there's tons of stuff that's going to be keeping me busy this month.
Oh yes. Cool. But yeah, there's probably not very much to say about this F-15 video. It's very good to see, and it's nice to see them continue to publish the little snippets of the in-game content for the F-15. You know, it just continues to show off how close to completion it is. It looks very well modeled. It looks basically ready to go. Complete with twiddly wing mirrors. It's very, very nice. So yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing this very soon now. Only Napalm Sinai is very good for helo pilots. Yes, I don't doubt it. And then our final item of news that we have just now, Stormbirds turns 7. Congratulations.
Well done. Congratulations to Shamrock. He's done very well. 7 years. Good lord.
Yes, indeed. Yep, I had no idea when I started out on this journey that I'd be writing an article 7 years later, marking a 7th anniversary for this blog, but here we are. Stormbirds turns 7 today. Congratulations, well done. It's a great news source when it comes to flight simulation in general and DCS in particular.
Probably one of the best, I think. Now, what is really funny is that we got front paged on Stormbirds not long after it started.
Really?
Yes, we did. When we did our first ever kind of DCS fireside chat as an experiment to see if it could be done, and then did nothing with it for ages and ages and ages until we did this. Are
you joking?
No. We got front paged on Stormbirds. And everyone was going, oh, it was really good, you should do more of it. And then, of course, we never did until we started doing this. Like, we weren't in the right place for it, I think. But yeah, we did it through Google Hangouts.
That's right. That was a long time ago.
And it was just a proof of concept of, would people sit down and watch like two bearded blokes talk about DCS for an hour? Turns out, apparently, they would.
Yeah, it went rather well.
Yeah.
See now I need to know.
Just watching two blokes talk about DCS and occasionally argue.
Yes. We don't really argue.
No, not much. No.
Yeah, just sometimes I'm right and you're not.
Yeah, sometimes I just let you think you're right. It's easier.
Well, I'll need to find that at some point. If anyone has a link to that, that'd be really cool.
Way back when. But yeah, no, get on him. I mean, 7 years. I mean, to be in business, that to make it past like a year is good going. So
very much so.
Like,
despite the fact that we have an episode from all the way back then, we've not been running that whole time. So, Stormbirds has managed to run for longer than we have so far.
Mm-hmm.
Thelma, have either of you landed the FA-18 on the submersible aircraft carrier in the FA-18 Interceptor BITD? Would eject the pilot inverted over the carrier and watch him or her human crayon off the end? I've never heard of this. This sounds horrendous.
I'm wondering, is that going back to the F-18 Interceptor that was on the Amiga, which was a fantastic game that was all polygon based around San Francisco?
Yes, actually, I played this. I think I know what you're talking about.
It was one of my favorite games. It was brilliant. Because it had a great soundtrack, like Amiga chiptune, but it was like aping the intro to Top Gun, and it was super. It was really, really good.
Yeah, actually, now that I think more carefully, Thelma, I think I do know the game you're talking about. I don't think I ever did that, but I think I did try to land the aircraft, yes. Like
the amount of times you fly under the Golden Gate, or the representation of the Golden Gate Bridge, or land at San Francisco International. It was a really good game. It was really good for time. It was super enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of thinking back as well to like the first. In fact, I think I've got it.
Gonna look in the library somewhere.
Yeah. It's the first. It was the first Falcon. It was the first Falcon on. I think it was on the Commodore 64, or was it the Amiga? It might have been the Amiga. I'd need to go and check. But yeah, no, I just recently found all of that stuff. So
nice. Welcome to the stream, Grimnir. Don't worry, you're never too late. You can always rewind.
Yeah, FA-18 Interceptor on the Amiga 500. Yeah, that's why I had the Amiga 500. That's not where my Flight Sim career started. That was on the Commodore 64 with Harrier Attack, I think it was called. But it was like, you were sitting in the cockpit and it had a horizon that moved like that. But it actually looked quite a lot like the Harrier cockpit. They even had like the the frame, the canopy frame, and the canopy bow, and all that. Because like somebody, they'd clearly actually sent somebody to go and sit in the cockpit of a Harrier and take a photograph.
What does this actually look like?
Yeah. It was quite good, and you had the map was 100 squares, and you started at square 00, and you had to get to square 100 and drop a bomb on the base. Strike Harrier, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
For me, it was the Atari 520 STE, and I was playing F117. What was it called again? F117.
Night Attack.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was that. See, I played its predecessor, which was F-19 Stealth Fighter.
Sorry, that's the one. F-19 Stealth Fighter. That's the one I played. Yeah. So it was the original one. I never played the sequel. Because the sequel came out after they'd actually selected the F-117 as the winner of that competition.
Yeah. The F-19, the Flying Frisbee.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an entirely fictional aircraft. And I have that as well. It's sitting. The box is sitting in the library back there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that was yeah. Then I got the Amiga. I got the Amiga specifically for Tornado.
Aha.
That's what I bought the Amiga for when Tornado came out, because it wasn't coming on the Commodore 64. And I couldn't afford a PC.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought
the
Amiga.
Back then.
Oh, God, I know, right? It's amazing how my entire PC buying career of, well, I mean, I'm in my 40s now, so 30-odd some years, has been entirely because of flight sims. Because I went from the Commodore 64 to the Amiga because of a flight sim, and I went from the Amiga to a PC because of a flight sim, TFX.
Oh, that was very good. Yeah, I played that.
Yeah, TFX. And then after TFX, Eurofighter, EF 2000.
Yeah, classic.
Which was amazing. But TFX, the voice acting, like, there was very limited voice acting. So you had the same guy every time a new fighter jet popped up and goes, "Oh no, it looks like the lizard."
yeah.
Again and again and again.
Mr. Yeti can't wait for Kola Peninsula, and so I can recreate EF 2000. Yep.
Yeah. EF 2000. So I went to Farnborough the year they pretty much launched the Eurofighter to the public with the big kind of, hey, this is what's coming, this is what we're going to do. And they had the Eurofighter experience, or because they hadn't named it yet. And it was, you sat in this domed, like a planetarium. And they showed what a mission in the Eurofighter would be like. And it was Digital Integration's EF 2000 before it had been released to the public. They did the demo of a Eurofighter mission, and it was like this full hemispherical. You know, they must use multiple projectors, so it felt like you were really there. You know, flying in the Eurofighter, and then it did the mission, and it landed, and then the screen parted, and there was a mock-up of the Eurofighter. I think it was like one of their engineering models, but full sized, for you to go and have a look around. It was amazing. It blew my tiny, like, 15-year-old mind.
Yeah, those were the days.
But yeah, the Kola Peninsula map is going to be awesome, especially when the Tornado comes out, because then you can go and blow the shit out of Murmansk, which is pretty much what the Tornado was designed to do.
Yes. I think the Vigan owners will get a lot of fun out of that map as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's going to be good. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my God. Does Afterburner 2 in the arcade count? Motion simulator in the 1980s. Like, I remember that. I went to London as a kid with my dad, and we went to the Trocadero, and they had one. They had the Afterburner motion simulator, and it cost £3, which was fucking extortionate back then.
Yes.
It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've still got my Commodore 64 copy of Afterburner there as well. Yeah, well.
Afterburner was a lot of fun, especially if you got that one of the full motion setups. Those were pretty cool. One
of them came up for sale recently.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't that expensive, but it needed some work.
Well, also it needs a hell of a lot of space.
Yeah. Thelma Viaduct saying, my parents rented a PC for me from Rumbelows. 50 megahertz SX2 CPU. Good Lord, that's pretty much the same. Yeah, I had a 486 66 megahertz.
Back in the day.
Which I've still got it somewhere. But Jesus, Rumbelows, there's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Oh yeah. Intense nights in our conservatory at 200 feet over the Iraqi desert.
Yeah.
Putting a lot of trust into that terrain following radar.
Yeah. I remember that. And sneaking the autopilot down, like, foot by foot, and it was superb. And I loved using the alarm system in Tornado as well. Yeah, but so that was the Desert War expansion pack. Yeah, because the original was sort of just fictional,
generic green place,
generic folder gap. Red versus or orange versus blue.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, I wonder, is this our opportunity to pimp the VAF, as we often do?
We're kind of getting there, aren't we? We're like, for a slow news week, we've done pretty well, I think.
Oh, yes.
To get to this amount of time.
We always have stuff to talk about, and chat always delivers.
Chat provides.
Chat provides.
Well, unless chat has anything to ask.
JP233 was the best weapon. Yep, sadly, no longer permitted. Well, sadly, should I be saying sadly about cluster munitions that had a habit of hanging around? Right? Maybe not.
So Irish Pat just asked a stormer of a question. Who had the best sim intro?
The Falcon 4 one was pretty good.
Yeah, Falcon 4 was pretty good. Combat Air Patrol was pretty good.
Yeah.
I actually, and if we're going to include music, there was an A320 simulator by Thaliensoft, German company, that made a remarkably good A320 for the Amiga, and it had incredible intro music. But why that was good, and I've still got them, is they shipped within the box the high altitude Jeppesen charts for Europe.
What?
Like I forget, but 2 charts that basically covered all of Europe, and a book of Jeppesen plates for the major airports in Europe, like Heathrow, Edinburgh, Berlin, blah blah blah, and it all shipped, and I still have them because it was fantastic. Like the sectionals I've got, and that was all in the box. But I mean, it sort of modelled aspects of the fly-by-wire and the autopilot, and I mean, this was like 1993, maybe. It was an amazing job, but it did have great music, and I can still remember it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I can't really, for me, it's Falcon 4. I quite enjoyed although they were very short, the cinematic sequences at the start of the campaigns for Falcon 4 as well. I thought they were quite nice because you had 3 different scenarios, and each one had its own little cinematic.
Yeah. Okay, so the one that I'm thinking of right now, which we kind of based the VAF on, Strike Commander.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was like the kind of story-driven mercenary Air Force.
Yes.
Kind of game that melted PCs with its garage shading. And textures.
That was a good one. That was a good game. And as you say, it is kind of the basis for the VAF. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So perhaps we should.
Let's move on.
Let's pimp the VAF. So the VAF, or the Virtual Air Force, is a virtual online squadron that was originally founded by myself and dotChuckles many moons ago. As I said, at one stage we were flying A-10s and F-5s and other such fun stuff. These days we have squadrons for the Apache, the Harrier, the A-10, the F-16, the F-18, and more recently the T-45 as a training squadron. You have the option of joining us as a freelancer and flying basically anything you would like whenever you would like, or you can join one of those numbered squadrons, do your type ratings, do organized training sessions with your squadron leader and your squadron mates. And we're flying every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time. We're tending to do training deployments of a set number of weeks, followed by actual mission deployments where we'll fly a campaign of missions for a series of weeks as well, then returning back to training. So it's rather fun. You'll see the Discord link in chat to the side, or if you're watching this after the fact, you'll see the Discord link in the show notes below. Everybody's welcome. Please come and join us in the Discord And even if you don't fly with us, you just want to hang out and have a chat. Amazing people are there, really interesting people to chat with. And then there's me and dotChuckles as well.
Yeah. And can't go into details, but I have a little, what's coming down the pipeline for mission deployments for the next little while. It's super exciting. There's a couple of things that are like, whew, that's really, really cool, really cool. And one of them is massive and could provide endless possibilities in terms of things that can happen, but there's still some bug testing to be done in it, but it's going to be pretty good. And obviously we've got some other things that are coming down the pipeline. I think the VAF platform, which is like our, I guess, social app.
It's kind of an app that integrates our flying and the Discord and kind of a website style element. And it has a lot of interesting functionality about logbook keeping and stuff like that. So nice.
There's a few interesting things coming, but yes, join us.
There's always something cool happening. And we have lots of cool liveries. All of our squadrons have their own customized liveries, which is nice. Yeah.
And that reminds us, we shall have to have to shout out for Zed Tank.
Yes.
When we get back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically all that's happened this week. It's been a slower news week, but as always, there's still lots to talk about, and it's always fun to share our passion and enjoyment of flight simulation with all of you. So
I think when we get these slow news weeks, sometimes it feels like the calm before the storm.
I know, right? Like, because we've listed like 4 things that we think are just about to drop, and I suspect they're going to drop now.
Like it's always the case when it gets really slow for like a week or two, then boom, here you go.
Yeah,
and I think maybe that might be what's happening, because like we say that there has been a few things that are like, oh yeah, this is imminent, this is just about to come out. So
any moment now.
It would make sense. You wouldn't push big patches just before the release of a module.
Yeah, like multi-threading.
Yeah. It's like, so with it being a bit slow, like maybe we're ready to get some exciting stuff. Who knows?
Here's hoping. But yeah, he's been dotChuckles. I've been Deepak. Every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. UK time. I'm giving my local time now. I publish a new tutorial video as a premiere, and that's always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. I'm currently continuing to do a series on the F-14, although I don't think there's much more I can cover on that. The F-14 doesn't do very many different things. I'm still posting some videos on the Black Shark, but it's also somewhat limited in what I can cover. So probably very soon now I'll be moving on to the next aircraft as chosen by chat, which is the Mirage 2000C. I'll be doing a full series of tutorials on that bad boy.
Because that's a different beast from when we last sort of looked at it in tutorial capacity. It's changed so much.
Razbam have completely overhauled it, and it has so much new functionality now as well, so it'd be really fun to cover that. And as always, there's more stuff coming down the pipe with regards to the Harrier, which is my personal favourite. So, it's been a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. Also, if you want to further support the channel, you have the option of joining Deepak's ground crew by clicking the join button below. Thank you very much to those who've already done so. A big shout out to Harish Rajan, Leo Netzel, Byron Farrow, Storm Kimbari, Channel Right, Mangash, J.R. Walker, Chandro Hedgevald, Griff Nizzle, Mr. Yeti, Frantic Stone, Bread, Tier Zero, Erdin Kertan, Veli Tapani Korpikanas, Tiger Moto, and Pink Floyd. Thank you very much, all of you, and thank you very much to everybody who watches the stream. You're all super awesome. So that's all we have time for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Fly safe, and we'll see you all next time. Ta-ta!